What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you another video. In this video I'm actually going to be comparing a My Perfect palette with a palette that I picked up that was the My Perfect version of it. So basically I created the My Perfect palette of the Natasha Denona Triochrome, and since I bought the Triochrome and I still had the My Perfect created in its essence like I showed in that video, I figured it'd be really cool to do a head-to-head battle to see which one I like more, which one I like better, if I even did a good job at kind of creating my own perfect version without physically having the palette here, etc, etc. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed seeing what I could create with both palettes. I do have one palette on each eye. I would love for you guys to stop right now and give me a guess down below in the comments which palette you think I have on what eye. Like I said before, I have the My Perfect version, which I do have a video of, and I will have that down below. And then I also have, of course, the actual original palette, which is the Triochrome from Natasha Denona. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's just get into the look. Hey guys, so today what I wanted to do was go ahead and do some swatching before you get into the tutorial aspect of this video. So this is My Perfect palette that I did prior, and I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch it on my arm really quickly, and I will put on the screen in the bottom corner each shade name just because it'll save me some time now. So alrighty guys, so now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and show you guys the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette, and this is it. I do have my ring light, so the light is washing out some of the colors, so hopefully the swatches on my arm will give you a little bit more true to color. So it's going to be hard to keep this in frame and my arm just because of the sizing of the area that I'm working with, so I am going to pull this out of frame, but I will again give each color 3 swatches as I did with my previous palette, so that you get the same hopeful building up of the shade as I showed in the previous group of swatches. now I hope that I'll be able to do side views so that you guys can see not only the swatches from the Natasha Denona palette, but also from my Perfect palette. I hope that you guys can see that more or less they give off the same color family and the same vibe. The huge big difference really is the amount of shadows that are presented in each respective palette. In addition, I feel as though the indie single shimmer shades are just a lot more amped up, whereas Natasha Denona's are more subdued. I think eventually you'll be able to still see that same triochrome effect, and even the same 3 shades, and even the sparkles. You will see that when I show the light at the end of my tutorial, but in the grand scheme of things, I think you're able to see that the indie shadow is just more vamped up. In addition, something that I truly did not notice until I just swatched out all these shadows, if you look, the last 3 shadows, or actually the last 4 or 5 in that bottom row, you can really create a neutral look with this triochrome palette, which I think is extremely unique and something that maybe not everybody has seen. And I don't actually think I've seen people actually do neutral toned looks with this particular palette. So just the idea of what you want and what you particularly need is really where you can come from when it comes to this palette. Overall, like I said, and well, you haven't heard, but like I will say in the further on in this video, I like them both. I think they're both have merit being in my collection. I definitely enjoy my Natasha Denona palette, and I definitely enjoy my Perfect version of it as well. But in the event that you were considering potentially picking this up, maybe before it gets discontinued, if it's going to be discontinued, compared to just using whatever Perfect version you have be created in your collection, I just wanted to give you guys these swatches in addition to the tutorial that is coming up right about now. Hey guys, so like I said in the intro, today's video, all I wanted to do was really just compare the palette that I created versus the original palette. Now, as you've seen, I've really gotten accustomed to really enjoying Natasha Denona formulation and buying her original palettes. But prior, when I was trying to really talk myself out of it for various reasons, I did go ahead and create palettes with my Perfect version of her bigger palettes. And so long story short, I'm going to kind of make this a little mini series where I compare my Perfect version palettes to the original. I did already do a video on this my Perfect version, so I will have that link down below for you guys. But in case you're interested, let me stop talking. I'm going to prime my eyes really quickly, and then we can really get into it. All right, so we are nice and primed, and just in case you did not see, this is the pre-made palette. So we're going to be focusing on, of course, these shadows, and then we're going to be focusing on the equivalent version of those shadows in the original Natasha Denona. So I have a group of brushes. I am going to be cleaning the brushes in between application with my It Brushes cleansing spray. It's a really nice spray. You can pretty much instantly clean your brushes and start working with them. This primer is trash, but I'm trying to get rid of it, so do bear with me. And we are going to go ahead and start with this really fluffy blown out Royal and Land nickel brush. So what I want to do is first go into my light lime green. This is in the shade Juncia, I believe, from Divina Cosmetics. So I'm just going to take that fluffy brush. I'm going to pat out that primer, and we're going to apply it. I'm applying this all in the crease because I do want this to be my true transition shade. And it's a very, very light shade, but we're gonna make it work for today. Okay, so I am just gonna go ahead. That's good enough for what I want. So I'm just gonna spray this same brush, and As of right now, I don't have the money for the Sonia G microfiber brushes, so I'm just going to use a paper towel that I've been using really to clean my hands on swatches. So in the Natasha Denona palette, you have this green and then these two greens. In the pan, I would say it looks closer to this green, which is Eon. So that is the one that I am going to use in my crease to mimic this look. And let's pat out concealer. Okay, so in person, these pretty much do look identical. There's not a huge difference between these two shades at all. So that's good. That means that I did a pretty good job on guessing the shade from just pictures. I have not done my swatch comparisons, but I will be doing swatch comparisons probably before this part of the video, so you guys will have seen it. This khaki shade, we have that. What do I do? Do I want to do a basic Betty? Let's do a combination. So I'm gonna go with this on the outer V and this on the inner. No, we're just gonna go in with the purple, the darker of the two purples that I have in my Perfect, which is from Clionade Cosmetics, and it is at Raspberry Fudge. And I am gonna take a smaller blending brush for that. This one's gonna be the Wayne Goss 18. I know it looks like there's some product, but I did already clean this brush, so just bear with me. And as you can see, Clionade, I will say their shades, when they do really good, they do really good. I do have a couple of their shades that just did not work for me, but the ones that I kept, obviously, I am really enjoying. So I'm just going to take my time and really blend this, and we're just going to go ahead and fast forward through this part. Oops, sorry about that, I didn't see. So the purple did definitely overtake the green on this eye, at least from what I can see. So I am just gonna, oh, this is gonna be a long video. Okay. I'm just gonna clean this brush off yet again and try and reapply that green so that it actually does show up the way I want it to. And there you go. It's looking more like the way I want. Really, really pretty, muted and understated. I am just gonna go ahead and follow through with just doing my lower lash line, blending out that purple with that green. Okay, nothing crazy, but just adding a little something down there. Okay, now once again, same brush, I am just gonna clean it off with my IT Cosmetics spray. So the equivalent of that darker purple that I have on my eye, I am going to use the shade Manganese in the Natasha Denona palette. Cleaned off the brush, as I said, and let's apply. So this is definitely a cooler toned purple. Definitely a cooler tone purple. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. The lighting is actually going down. I'm filming this quite later than I had hoped, so it's already late, 4 o'clock, almost 5, so pretty late. And even though we're heading into spring, that sun is definitely leaving right now. just going to take a little bit of this shade and go down my lower lash line. Okay, and once again I am going to clean off the bigger brush so that I can just re-emphasize that green on the top, and then also blend out my lower lash line with the green. All right, so my crease is pretty much done. I like where it's at right now. I may add a little something, but we will see. Now I think it's time for the lid shades, and I think this is where these looks are gonna really just go really far off. So the shadows that I put in this palette to be lid shades are just a lot more multi-chromed and just more reflective. I think I want to go in with this one. So this one is Twisted Silver by Sydney Grace. So I am actually going to just use my fingers. I don't even feel like dealing with NYX glitter glue today. So I'm just going to take my first finger and just apply it all over my lid. And I'm not sure if you can see all of the reflex. I'll try and put some lights on so you guys can see a little bit more. But this is just a stunning multi-chrome from Sydney Grace. It goes pinky purple, and there is some, I would say, orange and green in there too. It's beautiful. It's really pretty. Like I said, I'll put some lights on and hopefully come in even closer so you guys can see the whole kit and caboodle. But the one that I put that shade in to mimic, I believe, was this one. So let's go with that, and it is Color Flip. So I'm right-handed, so we're just going to use that exact same right finger, because I think if I try with my left, it's going to be a hot mess express. And I will say, from my vantage point now, I definitely got the right base color. So I definitely think that this is the perfect kind of dupey shade for that base color. And although you don't see it now, I definitely think that the Sydney Grace has a lot more going on overall, which hopefully I will show when I put on the additional light and come in even closer for you all. I did accidentally actually put some color on that lower lash line, but I will work on that in a second. So inner corner highlight, so there is no true inner corner highlight in this. Okay, so inner corner highlight, I'm actually going to just do my eyeshadow. Or no, you know what? I'm going to put both of them this. No, we'll just do, did I say eyeshadow? I'm sorry. I'm going to use my highlighter, which is my Project Pan highlighter. It's the one from KVD Beauty. So that's just going to make that even though in my palette there really is a inner corner highlight. In the Natasha Denona one, I don't feel as though there is as good of a highlighter or inner corner highlight. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is hop off camera. I still have some of my base to finish up. I think I'm gonna put some freckles on today. I just feel freckly today. I also wanna go ahead and put on my mascara, my liner, all of that. And I will put on some more light and hopefully put on some more so that you guys can see reflection. I will also use my camera, all that jazz. So anyways, give me a second. Alrighty guys, so I am back. As you can see, I am freckle-ified. I'm digging it. I am. And what I'm gonna do is turn on my camera light. It's at a weird angle, and hopefully you guys can see the different coloring of the Sydney Grace shadow, hopefully. And then I'll just put it on the same side as the Natasha Denona. Now obviously I'm not gonna know what any of that looked like because I couldn't see, I was looking down, but I'm hopeful that it showed you guys all of the various reflex that it had. Really, I don't see a huge difference in my eye look. I really don't. So let's zoom out and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. I zoomed out with a couple additional lights lit on. I didn't realize how dark it was getting outside, and I look very light compared to what my true complexion is, but we're gonna keep moving on. Overall, if you're not a weirdo like me, right, and you can stand to use something that you already have that replicates something that you're interested in, I say there is truly no need. Oh, now you can see what I look like. Oh, that's nice. I think that there truly is no reason to get the Natasha Denona. That said, the formulation and just the compactability, is that a word? That is a word, but is that what I'm trying to say? The formulation and the idea that I can use these in a versatile manner, very similar to single shadows, but they just look like a full-on palette. It does, the whole vibes are really what came about when it came to really picking up this palette. Plus, I was really enjoying this color scheme. I was getting so much use out of this little palette, and I just felt like this was going to definitely be a palette that I would get a lot of use out of. I love creating these My Perfect palettes, I really do, but I do tend to keep them in these palettes until I feel as though I've reached a point kind of where I enjoy having both, but I also have just reached a point where I want to kind of break this palette down and use these shadows in some of my other recreations, which is really that's the crux of the reason why I went ahead and picked this up. In addition, like I said before, I also really do enjoy the idea of creating a perfect palette with the Natasha Denona. Her formula is outstanding. Now, is it debatable that these should even be considered triochromes? Yes it is. It is, especially when you are an avid indie shopper of singles and just indie palettes as I am, and I have beautiful multi-chromes such as the ones in this palette. Honestly, Natasha Denona can't touch that. But I will say her color schemes and her formulations otherwise are outstanding. So there are positives and there are negatives to picking up one or the other. I like having them both in my collection, but that's just me. I also enjoyed the idea of using something that I could create to see if I even liked the vibes potentially of this one. So that's pretty much all I got. I hope that kind of made sense. I hope it was helpful for you all. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.